Okay, everyone, so now let's take a look at maybe one or two rather involved examples. Rather difficult, that is. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. We got our first term, which is -3 times the quantity, 10y plus 2x. Then we have plus x. Then we have minus 5 times the quantity, x minus 7y. All right, so let's start off by simplifying this. We will use the distributive property. We got our first term here. So let's apply the distributive property. We're going to take this -3 out front and distribute it to all of the terms inside the parentheses. We're going to get -3 times 10y plus -3 times 2x. All right, so that's that taken care of. Then what? Then we have a plus x, right? And then we have minus what? Minus the result of this distribution, right? So we'll find the result of this distribution by taking the factor 5 and distributing it to every term inside the parentheses. So we're going to have minus the whole expression, 5 times x, minus 5 times 7y. All right, so now let's work through simplifying this some more. All right, we got our first term here. -3 times 10y is going to be -30y plus -3 times 2x is going to be plus -6x plus just 1x, so just plus x, and then minus. So minus these terms. So let's just simplify these terms real quick. 5 times x would be 5x, right? Minus 5 times 7y would be what? Is that 35? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35y, right? So this becomes 5y minus 35x. So we're going to subtract both 5y, we're going to subtract the term 5y, and we're going to subtract -35y. We're going to remember subtract every term that's inside the parentheses or the brackets after the subtraction sign. All right, so now let's write this even more simply. So -30y, we'll just keep that way, plus -6x. Well, adding a negative is like subtracting, so we'll write that as -6x plus x, right? And then minus, so we're going to subtract both of these terms. So we're going to subtract positive 5x, and we're going to subtract -35y, right? But what's subtracting a negative again? Subtracting -35y is the same as adding 35y, right? Well, let's write a better x than that, geez. All right, so now we're almost there. We have it all simplified, so it's just a bunch of terms by themselves being added or subtracted. So now finally, let's make some room and write out our answer here. All right, so what do we have? We got some y terms. Here's a y term, and we got two y terms, right? And in the middle, we have 3 x terms. All right, so let's combine these. What about our y terms? So we'll start with a -30y and add positive 35y. -30 plus 35, hopefully we know, will simplify to 5. So our y term will be positive 5y. And then what will our x term be? We're going to start at -6x, add 1x, and then subtract 5x, right? So this will be like doing -6 plus 1 minus 5. And that'll be the coefficient on our x term, right? And what will we get? We'll get -6 plus 1 minus 5. We'll get -10x. So we'll have an x term of -10x. And that's the same thing as subtracting 10x, right? So since our x term is -10x, we can think of that being added to our final expression as like plus -10x. Same thing as minus 10x, right? All right, so here is our simplified expression for that large expression we started with, nothing but 5y minus 10x.